Hi, I'm Dr Emily Kirkpatrick and I'm a current General Practice Registrar. I'm currently enrolled in the Academic Post program through the RACGP AGPT program. The process for applying can be quite daunting and it's a pretty competitive process as well. So today we're here to talk with Dr Chris Barton, who's a Senior Lecturer in Primary Healthcare at Monash University. Hello Chris.
Hi Emily.
Chris, the process is quite daunting as I mentioned. Can you run me through what would be the most important thing for registrars to consider when applying?
Sure. There are 4 broad areas that registrars should consider when they're making their application. First, discuss your plan early with your medical educator. Second, link with a suitable Department of General Practice in your region. Third, develop a research and teaching plan. And finally, consider how the academic post plan will fit into your AGPT training and other commitments.
Great. So Chris, starting with the first point you mentioned, medical educators, what would you advise registrars when talking with their ME about the academic post?
So first, I'd encourage registrars to talk to the medical educator about their eligibility for the program and the type of term that they'd like to apply for. Second, they should confirm that their medical educator will support their application, and the medical educator will take into account things like their progress in the program and whether the program will meet their learning objectives.
Thanks Chris for that. I know my medical educator was really helpful in guiding me in how to apply for the post. So second, you mentioned about the universities. How should registrars go about finding a suitable university for an academic post?
So they should look for a university that's going to work for them. So it needs to be easily accessible. It needs to be a department that they feel comfortable in. And in terms of the research they're doing, that there wants to be a research program or other academics conducting research in the area that the registrar is interested in working within.
So Chris, in terms of developing a teaching plan, I know that was part of the process when applying. Do you have any advice for registrars when developing their plan?
So teaching is a really important component of the academic registrar program. It's actually one of the areas that was quite a bit weaker in the applications that tend to get submitted. So think through really carefully what teaching is available at the department that you're going to be working with and what skills you can develop or what skills you need to develop to become an effective educator.
So Chris, I know the application process is quite competitive. Do you have any advice in terms of what registrars should be doing to make their application stand out or make themselves, more appealing for the application process?
Yeah, so one of the things we're looking for is real enthusiasm for teaching and research. And so if that can come through in the application, then that's fantastic. The other thing is if the applicant can bring any existing research skills, so perhaps if they've completed an honours degree or if they've got some publications, then that's another thing that they can highlight in their application to really make it stand out.
I know a number of us didn't have a lot of research experience when they began, but certainly I felt this year has been fantastic in terms of helping me, on my pathway towards a GP academic.
Yeah, I think that's really important. So it's not essential that you've got a really strong research track record coming into the program, but it's really having that enthusiasm for research and that enthusiasm for teaching, and making that clear in the application and having that come out in your application. That's the key thing we're looking for. Look, realistically, it's a very busy year. There are a lot of competing demands. So it's really important to plan carefully, be open and communicate with your university supervisor and your medical educator about your commitments. And you also want to kind of think about how can you balance that, how can you achieve that work-life balance?
So thanks so much, Dr Chris Barton, for your time today, and hopefully we'll see lots of registrars applying for the post.
My pleasure.
So I guess this brings us to considering your academic post. I encourage all registrars to consider applying. It is a competitive process but highly rewarding. If you have any concerns or you want to know further information, I suggest contacting your medical educator or the RACGP for further information.